Ahoy! This is Zdenka, and in this tutorial I will help you bring your DJI Osmo Pocket 3 footage from basic to advanced. Let's go through 10 cinematic shots, daytime and night automatic and manual settings, test filters, and wide-angle lens. This video is brought to you by Epidemic Sound. I'm at Bowmanville Beach in Ontario, Canada. How can I capture this location in a much more creative way, as this is almost a static shot with minimal movement? Let's run through camera settings for these shots taken in basic automatic mode. Let's swipe down and go to rotational speed. Let's select slow. The gimbal will move slowly, and that's exactly what we want to make the footage look smooth and cinematic. Let's go back and swipe up to get to frame rates and resolution. These shots will be filmed at 4K resolution in 60 frames per second, as I may slow down some of the footage. Let's close this and swipe left. Exposure is set to auto, however, as it is an extremely bright day, I'm going to bring the exposure down to -0.3 as I'm worried that the highlights might be really overblown. For this shot, white balance is automatic, color is just default normal. Focusing mode is switched to single as I'm filming landscapes. This will help keep the focus right. I'm also going to lower sharpness to -1. As this lighthouse is quite far away, I have zoomed in 2 times to get a bit closer. To get rid of the boring static look I showed you before, all you have to do is bring the camera much lower and look for a foreground that will make the shot more dynamic. The gimbal is set to pan-follow mode. Tilt motor is locked, so the horizon will always stay the same. All is left to do is to reveal the location by panning to the side, or I can also go from a low angle upwards. It got better, but it's still boring. Whenever you are at the beach or close to the water, you gotta get much closer to the water because water will give you 2 things: reflection and more movement. Let's attach a selfie stick as it will help with 2 things. You will get much bigger reach, and when you will be filming low-angle shots, you don't have to bend over or crunch. Let's just go ahead and repeat the same movement going up. It already looks way better with the water all around. Let's try to fake a drone shot by selecting one-time zoom. That will get us further away, and bring the camera all the way up with the selfie stick. Small changes make a big difference. Just to see the difference, let's play again 2x zoom and 1-time zoom clip with bigger reach. Let's flip the camera upside down for those earlier mentioned low-angle shots. What is important here is to make one continuous move. You don't want to move all over the place. One long, smooth movement is the best. You can move sideways, or you can move forward or backwards. I prefer showing the backwards shot as it is more interesting to a viewer. The viewer simply doesn't know what will show up in the frame next during backing up. Just be careful not to trip over the rocks. It is always a good idea to include yourself in a shot here and there because it's going to give you better storytelling. You just don't want to film only the location all the time. Well, I'm going to perform a very simple shot with the intention to mainly explain how you can enable tracking in DJI Mimo app. I have DJI Osmo Pocket 3 on a tripod. The camera is roughly at my eye level. Once I open up DJI Mimo, all I have to do is swipe across my face to enable tracking. Get to starting position, and hit record. For the best results, it's best to maintain the same continuous walking movement. Then in a post, you can add zoom in effect to add even more movement. Until now, I was filming in normal color profile. If you want better dynamic range, more details in highlights, more details in shadows, then it's better to film in D-Log M profile. To enable this, simply swipe left, go to Color, and select D-Log M. The footage will look really washed out. What you need to do next is to go to DJI website and download D-Log M to Rec 709 LUT. That you will simply apply in the post when you are editing the video. Here is a simple clip I filmed in D-Log M. Let's apply LUT, and now it is all corrected. This shot was just taken at an eye level using pan follow mode on a gimbal. If you want to try to capture it in a different way, you can again flip the camera down and film it close to the ground. If the ground looks good, it works well. This one is super muddy, so it's not the best example. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can, however, always tie it to some dramatic music to make the shot stand out. I am just going to upload this clip to Epidemic Sound like this, and it will automatically suggest the right music for this clip. I don't have to search through music manually. They also have two new features. Here is the first one. Simply paste the link of your favorite Spotify song into Epidemic Sound or name of known song, and it will recommend very similar music that can be used worldwide. The second new feature is that now you can actually customize the track. You can adjust the length, looping sections, and precisely select what parts you want to keep or remove. I have used Epidemic Sound music service for all my videos for many years now. They really have a massive catalog of world-class music, sound effects, and next-generation sound tracking tools, such as Sound Match, that will pull out music that matches the sound of music you based on and find similar. Epidemic Sound has a special offer this Cyber Week. Use my code Zdenka to get 50% off of a yearly plan, personal or commercial. There is no free trial. Thank you very much, Epidemic Sound, for making this video possible. Let's step up filming with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 by leaving automatic mode and switching to manual mode, as it's going to give us two things. You are going to be able to lock the exposure, so it's not going to shift if you move from dark area to bright area, and you will get natural motion blur. Let's swipe left to change exposure to manual. As I'm filming in 60 frames per second, I have to double the shutter speed, so I will go with 1/120th. ISO I'm going to bring down as low as I can, that is 50. The last step I have to do is choose the right ND filter. These are DJI magnetic ND filters, and place it onto the camera. I'm ready to film now. I'm keeping the D-Log M color profile. Let me show you the look again with the water and the difference between automatic and manual mode. Let's move to a city and stay with manual mode a bit. I'm going to be filming very simple time lapse in manual mode to achieve motion blur of the cars driving by. How do you get this look? Let's change mode from video to time lapse. Let's swipe up and select a custom time lapse. Let's swipe up once again to set the interval and duration. As cars are moving very fast, I'm going to go with a lower interval. I will go with 2 seconds. The slower the movement, the higher interval you have to select. For example, if you're going to be filming slower moving clouds on the sky, you can try something like 5 seconds. I will record for 10 minutes. That is going to give me a 10 seconds final time lapse. Now that we have this time lapse set up, we have to tweak manual mode setting a bit to get the motion blur. I'm going to keep ISO the lowest I can, and that is 50. The trick to motion blur is to bring the shutter speed down. Slow shutter speed so the cars can go by. The shutter needs to stay open a bit to take motion blur photo. Let's try something like quarter. You simply have to experiment and figure out how much motion blur you like. I could select even slower shutter speed, but let's keep it at quarter. All I have to do is hit record. Once the time lapse is done, this is the result you are going to get. There are many other modes when it comes to time lapses, motion lapses, and hyperlapses. I'll cover those in future tutorials, so don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Let's talk about vlogging, walking around and talking. The easiest way to do this is enabling Face Auto Detect. Let's hit this little icon on the left. It will take us to the Face Auto Detect feature. All you have to do is hit start. Then, once you hit the record button, it will detect your face and start tracking. So whenever you're vlogging outside, it's probably better to bring a selfie stick because the camera will be a little bit further away, and you might as well want to use DJI microphone for the better sound. So I'm filming myself in a city. I'm going to extend the selfie stick even further so you get a little bit more of an angle. The first shot you saw was with a standard one-time zoom camera. If your package has a wide-angle lens that is also magnetic, you can attach it to the camera to get a bit of a wider look. There will be distortion around the edges though. Either you like it or you don't. Let's take a look. Well, I have the wide-angle lens on, and again, I'm holding the camera on pretty long selfie stick. So this is the angle you're going to get if you're going to be filming yourself while you are walking, vlogging. When it comes to filming at night, should you film in night mode or video mode? Well, night mode allows you to film in 4K 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. You cannot get 48, 50, and 60 frames per second in this mode. I would like to keep filming at 4K 60 frames per second, so I'm going to stay with video mode. Let's just stay with automatic mode. Keep exposure value at 0 this time as it is dark, and film a clip. I really like this building of Durham College. The orange and blue lights really pop. For those who want more control and natural motion blur, let's swipe left and change it to manual mode. As I'm filming at 60 frames per second, I'm going to double the shutter speed once again to 1/120th. Because it is night, I don't need any ND filter as it's not bright anymore. In fact, it is so dark that this time I have to bring the ISO higher. 400, 800, sometimes you have to go even higher until you see the image perfectly exposed. If you are in D-Log M profile and you're not sure if the image looks right, if the setting is right, change it briefly to normal color profile and then adjust ISO. Once it is where you want it to be, change it back again to D-Log M color profile. Let's take another shot in manual mode. There is one more accessory you can use for night shots if you are after very cinematic look, and that will be DJI Black Mist filter. Just like ND filters, this one is also magnetic. Let's take a look at the same shot but with mist filter. What it does, it creates this spilled light. Let me get much closer to the building, select pan follow mode again, and just walk around to show off the lighting. If you want to see more examples, here is a traffic shot. And here is another view of this college. I personally really like this look. I have to give you a warning though, when it comes to these little filters and lenses, because I learned the hard way. They are magnetic, they hold very well. It's actually difficult to take it off once you put it on. I finished filming at the college and I was walking back to the car. I was holding DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and my tripod with Sony a7S III on it. And I remember at a certain point I bumped it by accident together. I didn't think anything of it until I got home and I realized that I lost the mist filter. I searched the car, everything, it just wasn't there. So this morning I received the replacement. I had to buy this one and they are not cheap. So be very careful with that. From now on, when I finish filming, I will take it off and put it into the bag just to make sure. So cautious there. How about we recap some of the shots featured in this video? Let's add some music, sound effects, and color grading. Give it a thumbs up if you found this video informative and don't forget to subscribe for more. Let me know in the comment section below. How is your day going? How do you like this camera? What are you gonna be filming next? Just say hi. I'll see you in one of those next. Ciao. Ahoy.